Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of a songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast once again this week. Another very special guest for you, and I know you're going to love her, and I will introduce you just a little bit. But first, let me tell you about Discover Sooner. Discover Sooner, one of our sponsors, my good friend Nancy Deckent put this together. She's the CEO, and if you are a songwriter, this is a good place for you to go. Visit discoversooner.com. You will find a community of songwriters cheering each other on, people you can collaborate with, but more importantly than that, publishers and meetings, Zoom meetings, almost on a monthly basis where you can get to meet people, make the connections that will help you get discovered sooner. DiscoverSooner.com. Check them out when you get a chance after this podcast today, and I certainly appreciate it. Well, our guest today is Judy Pastor. Hello, Judy.
Hello.
She has been heard on radio here in Nashville, WSM, my favorite station, Roots Radio, WMOT, Lightning 100. She has been a regular at the listening room with all kinds of big writers, so we're going to find out more about her, and we're going to hear her story and hear her music, and I hope you'll stick around for that. I want to start with a song that is, not counting her last Christmas song, her current release, which is called The Ride. So here is our guest. She's going to play later on for us live around the dining room table, Judy Pastor on the Songwriter Connection podcast.
Open road, a beat up hand-me-down heart and a gypsy soul. I'm living today, living a dream with a traveling band, running on caffeine and fumes in a Chevy van. I'm on my way from here to there. I've been pretty good, you know. This is far as I go. Here comes the sun, kissing the sky. The wind has been a friend of mine. Still so much I don't know. These things I can count on. I'll just take my time. It's all about the ride. Downs. This old heart of mine keeps holding on. I've got faith that's strong. Maybe one day I'll settle down, grow roots of my own. Until then, I'll carry on. Here comes the sun, kissing the sky.
that's such a cool message. It's all about the ride, isn't it, Judy Pastor?
Yes, absolutely.
Great song.
Thank you.
You solo writer on that, or
No,
how'd
I
that come
actually
about?
wrote it with my friend Kelly Johnson.
Okay.
She's a writer here in town and a singer-songwriter. And we wrote it a few years ago, actually, and I just kind of shelved it, as you do.
Sometimes you do. Yeah.
And then I would play it now and again, but my husband was like the big encourager on this one. He was like, can you please play that song? And he wanted me to start playing it out, and I did, and I played it for my producer, and it was just... Everyone that heard it was like, this is so catchy. And I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then when I had it was time to go and cut a song and I had several to choose from, it was like the people that are closest to me that I trust,
Yeah.
I mean, I like all the songs, so I didn't really care, really, truly, which one I was going to do, because I eventually will cut all the ones that I love. But everybody wanted the ride, so I was like, okay, I'll do the ride, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. Well, it turned out great.
Thanks.
Yeah, sometimes you've got all your own little children here, and it's hard to distance yourself enough to make a decision like that. So it's always good to get input, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like, how do you choose?
Yeah.
You only got so many you can record.
Right.
So, yeah. So, so nice to have you on the show. We found out recently that we're kind of neighbors, which I did not know.
We are.
Yeah.
The Hermitage people.
I appreciate you coming and being around our dining room table today.
It's awesome, yeah.
And we've got this new place in Hermitage, which is nice. On our side of town, there's not a lot of places to play. And now we have a new place called 12 Keys.
Yes.
Which I love. It's a beer joint with a music problem. You got to love that.
Yeah.
And Mo Strummel, who opened the place and runs it, big thanks to him. So a shout out, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you've played there with me, and
Right.
we're doing a Wednesday night songwriter night there now. If you're listening here in Nashville, you need to come and be a part of that now.
Yes.
Please do. So I thank you for that too. Not only for coming here and playing around the dining room table here on the podcast, for being part of that show too. That means a lot.
It was really fun.
Yeah. And I know you're coming back.
I am.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's find out a little bit more about you. First time I was starting to tell you before we recorded this, but it wasn't the first time I saw you perform. But one of my favorite times was an Instrument for Education's show at the Listening Room, which is a great venue here in Nashville to see shows, especially. And Troy Castellano puts those on. We had Troy on the show earlier this season talking about his great program, Instruments for Education. So it was a benefit you were doing.
Yes.
And it was the first time I heard you talk about yourself and things that you do besides music. Mm-hmm. And you do a lot. You do stuff with education too. And
I do.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and
Yeah. Well, it actually is still with music mostly. It's like special music for kids with special needs.
Special needs.
Yeah. I've been doing that for some time now. Like I started that back in Pennsylvania before I moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
And kindergarten classes, which not with special needs, but regular children's music.
Yeah.
I started doing children's music to supplement my grown-up music, so to speak, and it worked out really well. I had a good response. I worked for a company back in the Philadelphia area, and he would send me out to different schools, and I did preschool and kindergarten and all that, and I got pretty good at doing it. And at some point along the way, he put me in for some special needs classes to see how it would go, and to my delight and surprise, it was like a very successful program. The teachers and the aides would see responses from the children that they were looking for. Wow. And so it was like, it just became an important part of what I do. I do not have a degree in music education, so I don't call it music therapy, even though it seems to be therapeutic.
Yeah.
So I just call it special music, and I've done a lot of one-on-one since then. And
therapeutic, I imagine, not only for the students but for Judy Pastor too.
It is therapeutic. I mean, I have a connection with. I tend towards those that have a need, or those that don't have a voice. I mean, I care about like people, and their needs, and I'd like to kind of try to remember that as I pursue my own dreams and my own career. I think it's really important. That's why I love what Troy does, because
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, Instruments for Education is pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, and music for these students, these young students. So that's something you've continued when you came to Nashville.
Yeah, and it just ended in 2020, and it hasn't resumed.
COVID stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, any classes or any one-on-one work that I was doing just came to a halt, and it hasn't picked back up yet, but hopefully it will.
My wife is a teacher. She teaches English as a second language, and COVID kind of put the kibosh on that too. And she's just now starting to get back with her students. So I know that was a bummer for sure.
Right.
So, well, that's pretty good. And you also work. I saw something that you work with women in recovery too.
I do. I'll actually be at the mission. The Nashville Rescue Mission this Friday night.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I do a women's coffee house about once every 6 weeks. They have a coffee house for these women that are living there and in a recovery program. They've come out of jail. They're coming out of addictions, abusive relationships, whatever it is. There's a need, and I just go in and sing with them, talk with them. Sometimes we pray. It just depends. It's a faith-based program. So, but a lot of them are fresh, out of these situations, and some have been in the program for longer. So it's kind of it's mixed when you go in there. But I always really, 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 that's one that really ministers or blesses me. I would say, just because it's humbling. Anybody, there's nothing much that separates us from being on the other side of where we are. We have nice homes and whatever it is, and they don't, and it's well, gosh, if you have something to give, then give. That's what I say.
I really admire you for that, because there are so many talented people in this town, and sometimes you hear them complain, you can't get cuts and you can't make money. If you have a gift, it's given to you, and I think it's your job to share that gift. Find a way to get out there and share it. So I really admire the way you do that. You give back for your gift.
Thank you.
And that's really something. Well, listen, I want to hear another song from you, because we got your Taylor guitar out, and we're around the Duncan Fife dining room table, and we get amazing sound in this room for some reason. Yeah. And I want to hear how Judy fills it up. So Judy Pastor's our guest. What you want to sing for us?
I think I'm going to do one that I actually wrote with Nancy Decant.
I love Nancy.
And Sandy Ramos, a great writer here in town.
Yes.
This one is called Up in Smoke.
Great.
Feet know where I'm headed, but I don't know where they'll land. Got no expectations, just a hunger in my hands. Ambition is a drug, and dreams are gasoline. I've got both of them just waiting to ignite inside of me. If I fly like a rocket, I could go down in flames. I might change history or not change anything. I'm gonna keep on rising, it's all I really know. I'm gonna burn these dreams far as they'll go, or I'll go up in smoke. My spirit is on fire, the small town's running dry, but I gotta keep on moving, see what else I can try. If something good is coming, I feel it in my veins, and I ain't gonna hang around one more day. If I fly like a rocket, I could go down in flames. I might change history or not change anything. I'm gonna keep on rising, it's all I really know. I'm gonna burn these dreams far as they'll go, or I'll go up in smoke. Oh, I'll go up in smoke. I'm gonna light a match, see what catches, watch them burn. Light a match, see what catches, I'ma take my turn. If I fly like a rocket, I could go down in history. Will not change anything. I'm gonna keep on rising. It's all I really know. I'm gonna burn these dreams far as they'll go, where I'll go up in smoke. Oh, I'll go up in smoke. I'm gonna light a match, see what catches, watch them burn.
Great song.
Thanks.
Co-written by Sandy Ramos and Nancy Deck and Judy Pastor, who's our guest here today on the show. Kind of a different take on determination, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a dream, and we're going to pursue it until it goes up in smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Nancy's idea, and I was in the writer's room with Nancy a couple times, and we wrote the song, and then decided it needed Sandy.
Yeah.
So then I Zoomed with Sandy, and we kind of just changed a few things and finished it, completed it, and Nancy loved it. Everybody was happy. I cut a demo of it at Omni with one of my producers, Bill McDermott, and Sandy's got the, they both have the track, but Sandy's got it for potential pitching.
And both of them are doing little pluggings and pitching.
Exactly.
So hopefully we'll hear more about that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Thanks.
Thanks for playing it here around the dining room table for sure. Let's get into your musical background, how it all started for you. You grew up in the Philadelphia area?
Yes.
Pennsylvania? Yeah? Okay.
So outside Philly, in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
And I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old. My parents gave me piano lessons, and I wanted to play guitar. So I asked my Mommy, can I have guitar lessons? And they said yes, and that's kind of how it started.
Do you still play a little piano, or just?
I do play a little piano, but I have not performed with a keyboard out. I have one in my music room. Yeah. And I do like to fiddle around. But yeah.
So what drew you to the guitar though? What was it about the guitar?
I must have seen someone, I can't remember, but I must have seen someone's a female probably singing and playing, I would think. And I was influenced by I grew up in the Northeast, so it was rock music, and it was all these those 1970s singer-songwriters already, had been around, and I was just very I just thought they looked so cool and they sounded so great, and I was like, ooh, and I don't know, I just wanted to play the guitar. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember I was very young, and living right behind us, there was a gentleman who was older than us, but he had a guitar. He had this blue Fender that he would play through his little amp, and I can remember hearing outside him practicing, and I'm thinking, that's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. I want to play guitar someday. Yeah. So eventually it would happen. Yeah. So it's kind of funny how in early in your life you get a notion like that, and just go for it. So yeah. So when did you start writing songs? Was it right away when you got your guitar? Or?
Yes, it was actually right away. I had some poetry. Mm-hmm. I would write, 8-year-old poetry. The flowers are pretty, my mom is pretty, I love God, just little things like that. But my first 2 chords, I put some of my poetry like that to the chords. Nice. Just very organic. Yeah. But really, it was to come that I'm a songwriter. And so, but that was kind of how it really first started, was
That's
just,
so interesting.
It was natural.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, wow. People are like, do you still have those songs? And I'm like, no, I don't. No.
No, don't think so. So you write a lot these days, don't you?
I do.
Do you keep a regular schedule? Or?
I had, but now I don't. Nothing's regular anymore. It's all irregular.
Ever since COVID hit, nothing's regular.
No,
anymore.
not really. And I'm kind of a 50-50 writer, 50% artist. So I do. I am very passionate about going out and playing my songs.
You are, and that's a real big difference. Some people like me, we're songwriters.
Right.
I don't consider myself an artist, but you are an artist songwriter, and that's a whole different category.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. One of the things I have to also commend you about is today in this DIY music environment that we live in today, you do a very good job of getting your name and your stuff out there.
Thank you.
On all of the socials, and you're out there everywhere. People can just type in Judy Pastor, and that's not O-R, it's E-R.
It's E-R.
E-R. And they're going to find videos of you. They're going to find your music on Spotify. And I do urge you to do that because she's got some great stuff up there, including her great cover, your great cover of Blowing in the Wind by Bob Dylan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
So,
That was a whole like inspiration thing that came from, different people saying you got to really listen to this song. And I had heard that song, but I never really listened with ears. I don't know. I listened with different ears and just felt very impressed upon that. I was like, I should cover that song. And I told my producer over at Omni, Bill McDermott, that I wanted to cut that song, and he thought it was a good idea. And I was like, okay.
Did you have the feeling that it applies today?
I did.
Just
I do.
as much today as it did back then?
Yeah, I do. And that's what's so crazy is it was a number one, but not Bob Dylan wrote it, but the who took it? The Mamas and the Papas.
Yep.
Was it
the Bird?
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Sorry,
Sorry,
everyone
right.
listening out there. I need to know who.
Too. Yeah.
They took it to number one, and I want to say it was
so many times though.
It wasn't even 1970 though. It was before 19. It was that song
60s.
is I don't want to say ancient, but it's a very old song. Yeah. It's been around a long time, and it is very it could have been written today.
Could have been written today. Yeah. It's just a lot of things that Dylan has written. It does apply today. So I've always been a big Dylan fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's why I like Judy Pastor so much.
Thanks.
I've heard you say you're a girl Dylan or Dylan. What did you say?
I said I was a girl Bob Dylan.
A girl Bob Dylan.
Kind of. I mean, that's a pretty high compliment. So I probably shouldn't say that about myself. But I say it more as he's I don't know. His music is timeless and his voice is imperfect. And I feel that way about myself, but there's a richness to it. And I feel that way about myself. So that's not in a bad way. It's just, being in Nashville, there's so many perfect voices,
Yeah.
But, there's more to being a musician than a perfect voice, and
that's true.
It's so anyway,
Yeah.
That's kind of where I say it from.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How about another one? Got another song?
Yes.
Another story behind?
I need to tune for
Tuning?
this one. Yeah.
That's fine.
But this one is one, I have not cut this one yet.
No?
I wrote it last year, planning on cutting it. This one is one, my husband's father passed away last year, and it was suddenly on his farm. He just went out to work on the farm and had a heart attack and, passed away, which is horrible for us. But for him, didn't suffer, that we know of. I mean, it was fairly quick. And so this farm is my father-in-law's pride and joy. And now my husband and his brother are taking care of the farm, and my mother-in-law still lives in the old farmhouse there, and it's about 85 acres, and it's about an hour 15 minutes outside of Nashville, in Coffee County, and just a beautiful, well cared for piece of property. And
about picture in my mind.
Yeah, it's actually, if y'all are listening and want to see the property, if you go to my YouTube, you can watch, or my Facebook, or my Instagram, you can. There's links everywhere for the YouTube video, which is at Judy Pastor Music. I did a video for The Ride, and we made it on the farm.
How about that?
So that video...
I'm going to go watch that again. Now, knowing that, I will watch that again. Yeah. And I've seen it. So, yeah. Awesome.
So that's what this song is about, being reminded when we're on the farm, which we go to quite often. We were just there for Thanksgiving, being reminded of my father-in-law. So Bill DiLuigi, my good friend and co-writer, wrote this song called It Was Yours. Wow. This 4x4 don't run like my Chevy. Front end shakes when you take her over 60. But I'm the biggest fan of this F-150, 'cause it was yours.
when I drive past Fire Lake and it's a hot one. I swear you're in your coveralls riding shotgun. I turn up some old Hank song and rock on, 'cause it was yours. I know that you raised me to carry on the love you passed down. I need you and I miss you. I'm hoping that I'm doing you proud, but half my heart is missing for sure, 'cause it was yours. Back home on the farm, your dog rides with me. I work the fields, I know I'm growing good seeds. That sacred dirt is sticking to the boots on my feet, 'cause it was yours. I know that you raised me to carry on the love you passed down. I need you and I miss you. I'm hoping that I'm doing you proud, but half my heart is missing for sure, 'cause it was yours. Just trying to keep my feet on the ground. I'm coming around, but half my heart is missing for sure. Half my heart is missing for sure, 'cause it was yours. It was yours. Oh, oh, oh. It was yours.
That's really a powerful song, Judy, and it really touches me too. I lost my mother-in-law not too very long ago, so
I'm sorry.
that's a great song.
Thank you.
You and Bill DeLuigi, huh?
Yes.
Now, I've heard a lot about Bill. I've never met him, but I know that we've had writers on this show that have written with Bill and speak wonderful of him.
He's a wonderful human.
Yeah, that's what I hear, and I look forward to meeting him.
Yes.
So, wow, that's just an amazing song.
Thanks.
So I always like to get into the process a little bit.
Yeah.
So you guys sat down together. Was this your idea? Tell us how it all came about.
My husband,
Yeah.
really, he wanted me to write a song about his dad or for his dad, and I wanted to. And we were just talking about like different things, like the scenarios on the farm, the dog, and the truck,
The imagery.
the imagery. And I had an idea for a melody, and I just felt when I want to write something like deep, I always go to Bill. I mean, like he's like my go-to for like something that's like really meaningful, you know. He's like a deep person, and he can write like surfacey pop stuff too, you know, which is fine, or deep pop stuff, whatever. But I just he's like my person for that. And he was like at my wedding. We had a really small wedding. Bill's just one of my best friends, so he knows Megan, and you know, that's my husband. And so Bill came over, and we worked it out, and we wrote the song. And that was kind of the process of it. But I had like different ideas. I had some of the melody. We changed quite a bit of it, but I feel like it turned out really well. I really like my husband's family loves that song.
I bet.
And I was able to actually was it Christmas last year, I think, like handwritten lyrics, and we framed them.
Oh, that's
for,
cool.
like my husband's mom and my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, like everyone got like a framed on a stand like of the lyrics, and it's just really nice.
Such a gift of yourself.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
Very nice. You know, one of my favorite movies these days is the movie about the Bluebird Cafe, and it's out there on Amazon and Netflix and things. It's a good one to see if you really want to get into the songwriter's mind and about a great venue. It's just iconic here in Nashville. If you think about the Opry House and the Ryman and the Bluebird, these are all iconic places in Nashville, but especially the Bluebird. So many great people were discovered there. It's a place to go to hear songwriters, and they make sure you listen because they'll tell you to shh, the songs come first. And the reason why I bring this up, because you were in that movie just briefly, huh? And I just found that out today. And I'm going to have to watch it again now and watch for you.
It's just a clip. Troy Castellano actually sent me the screenshot of it, and I was making like sometimes when you get a screenshot from a video, it's like the like worst face ever. I was like, are you kidding? That's what I look like in the Bluebird movie? But yeah, I got a little clip in there.
Oh yeah.
Kind of fun.
It looked great. To be in a movie. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And to be at the Bluebird where you've played, right?
Yes, I have played there. Not too much. I've actually only played there one time.
Yeah.
And I would like to play there again, but it's
you will.
I'm sure I will,
yes,
but
you will.
It's
That's cool. It's hard to explain what it feels like to play on a Bluebird stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a very small venue.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Yes, I was nervous to play there just because of like what you think about it before you go. But I've played like other stages that are besides the listening room, like Third and Lindsley.
Yeah, Third
where,
and Lindsley.
You feel pretty nervous, but once you're on stage, it subsides.
The adrenaline starts to take over.
Yeah, you're okay.
You're okay.
Yeah, you're okay.
I always think that a little bit of nervousness is good. Keeps you sharp.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Right.
I believe it. Totally. Yeah. So, well, that's cool. What brought you to Nashville from Philadelphia? What made you decide? And was that a big decision and a big move?
It was definitely a big move. The decision wasn't that hard to make because I had been mulling it over, and the desire was placed in me probably 8 years before I actually made the move. So it was like something that I was like moving towards for a long time. But my father was sick, and so I was, I was staying in Philadelphia, like with my family while he was sick. And then also I had all those like children's music accounts, and I wasn't like quite done with all that. I was into the special needs thing at that point, and I was a singer-songwriter there, so I was busy there. But I had started coming to Nashville to write and to perform. And I was booking writers' rounds. The Commodore was one of the first places I ever played.
I still love the Commodore.
They booked me before I ever lived here, and there was one or two places that aren't around anymore. About, let's see now, it'd be probably like 13 years ago, because I've been here for 10 years. So
10 years? Okay.
Yeah, I just had my 10th year.
Yeah, I say it's a 10-year town, so watch
That's what
out.
they say. That's what they say, but, I don't know. For me, it's like a slow, steady train ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
And you're enjoying the ride.
I am enjoying the ride.
Like your song.
Yeah. The good and the bad.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, you're an award-winning songwriter, and you've been nominated for a lot of different awards, but I read about a Canadian award that you won.
Right.
Which is kind of equivalent to our Dove Awards here.
Yes, it actually is. It's the GMA, which is the Gospel Music Association Canada, GMA Canada.
Awesome.
So it'd be like the Canadian, like they just had that CC.
Yeah, like their CMA. Yeah.
Tell
us about that song. So that whole thing.
That was interesting. That song was one that I started writing when my dad was sick, and I was visiting. Actually, I think at that point I had already maybe moved down to Nashville, but my dad was sick for a while. And so anyway, I'd gone home and I was staying with my parents, and at that point, and I can't really tell you why. It's kind of funny or weird, depending on who the listener is. But I was reading the Song of Solomon out of the Bible, and I was just kind of in that like book, and it's like this like romantic book in the Bible and everything. In the Old Testament, and there's a scripture in there about don't awaken my love too soon, or don't awaken my love before it's time, I think is the scripture.
Gotcha.
And anyway, I started like fiddling with the melody and these lyrics, and the song ended up being called Awaken My Love. It's a really, really pretty song, and I really shouldn't be talking this much about it because I have not played it in a long time, so I'm probably not going to play it live. Yeah, but that was the song, and what happened was Bill DeLuigi and I, again, Bill and I, we wrote.
Bill, if you're listening, we got to get you on that show. Okay?
Yes. We wrote that song with a Canadian artist named Sean Spicer, who's like an instrumental artist that is kind of in that GMA award-winning pool.
Yeah.
And was looking to collaborate with some Nashville people, and found me, and then I brought Bill in, and the three of us collaborated, and then we ended up we had several nominations over the course of a few years with different songs, but that was a song that won. Nice. But it was kind of weird because it won Jazz Blues Song of the Year, an instrumental version that had a French horn on it. Like, so it took my vocal out, and it did like the vocal melody with the French horn, and it won. And I was just like, this is crazy. So that is
so cool.
It was fun.
Did you go to the award show and everything?
We went to one of them where we thought we were going to win, and we didn't win. So we drove all the way to Canada. Bill and I did.
Oh, gosh.
And then went to the award show, and it was fun, and drove back and got detained. Is that the word? At customs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It was a whole like thing. Bill had to get back, and he was very upset, but it all worked out. And we've got another memory. So yeah.
We used to go up to Canada. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. So we used to go up just to visit Toronto a lot. And but I was born in Buffalo, New York. Okay. So that's just right across the Peace Bridge into Canada. Right. So if you were going to see the falls, like Niagara Falls, you know, and the good views are on the Canadian side.
Right.
So you'd always have to go through that, and why are you coming into Canada today?
Yeah.
And you don't get smart with those guys, we found out.
Right,
Because they can make your life miserable.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What a neat experience.
Yeah.
Congrats on that.
Thanks. There's a more recent award.
There is.
Okay.
Well, tell us about it.
No, I want to know what you know about it.
I know nothing about it, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Well, it's really recent. Back just a couple months ago, I won a Josie Music Award.
Well, I did. Now, Josie's okay. Now, I did hear about that.
And that was really neat because that's 2021, but that's for Artist of the Year for Folk Americana. Which
that is so cool.
It's really cool because it honors you as, well, first of all, the Josies are like
tell them about the Josies.
The largest independent artist or independent musician music awards. So independent being that you're not signed to a major label.
Major label, okay.
You could have a publishing deal, I suppose, but you know. So yeah, I mean, it's really neat because they have like Songwriter of the Year and Songs of the Year, but I actually won for an Artist of the Year, which is very like affirming to me that for my artistry, you know.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
That's a big piece of validation.
Yeah.
You gotta feel good.
It was fun. I got to go up on stage and accept it, and I was truly shocked and happy and delighted and all that stuff.
Well, congratulations
Thanks.
on that.
Yeah.
I just somehow totally brained out on that one.
I figured I'd bring it up because it's like recent, because the other one is like back from 2015, I think.
I do remember writing about that and was happy for you.
Thanks.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Josies are a cool thing.
Yeah,
really
well, this was my first year submitting. I've had a lot of friends that have submitted, and my friend that I write with, Corey Lee Barker.
Corey's always winning Song of the Year.
He's always winning, and he's been doing it, for a while and everything. But I guess I just never... I don't know. I never submitted before this 2021.
So you're telling me first time you submit, you win? Yeah,
which shows actually the authenticity of the board, because they really didn't know me. Because you think sometimes you don't know how political I don't know.
You don't know, yeah.
And that's why I didn't think I was going to win. For one reason, just because they didn't really know me. But so that was really exciting.
Did you have a speech prepared?
Oh, no. No, I got up there. I was like, woo, you can watch it. I've got it up somewhere. Because
we'll do that.
Yeah, these people that I made friends with videoed me, and yeah, it was nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Josie Award winner.
Yeah.
Judy Pastor, our guest today on the Songwriter Connection podcast. Well, I want to talk you out of at least one more song. Is that possible?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah?
I'm thinking
And where are you playing next? Where do we see you? Where can we see you? Now, this is publishing on December 29th, so you got a busy January ahead.
January is still up for grabs. There's some stuff going on in January, but my December... wait, what did you say about the 29th?
29th is when we publish this.
Oh, right.
I know you've got the listening room on the 22nd.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
With
yeah.
Bill DeLuigi.
Yes. I invite him a lot because he plays lead on on the songs we've written.
It's always good to have a guitar player with you in it.
Well, I usually do, if it's like 6 songs, I'll probably do 3 that I co-wrote with him.
Oh, that's nice.
So he fiddles around. He likes to sing background vocals with me too. He sounds really good on my songs.
That's cool.
Because there are songs, so.
Yep.
I can't really say what I have, so you're just going to have to go to judypastor.com.
There you go.
Yes. So.
It's a great site full of a lot of information on Judy. So check it out, judypastor.com.
So
you're going to...
Yeah, so now I'm going to do, I'll do the song, it's a single that I released back in April of this year. So Before the Ride, it's one song before the ride.
Okay.
And...
out there on Spotify as well?
Yes, it's on Spotify and Apple and everywhere.
Is this the one I heard you do the other night?
Yes,
Keys? I love this
is the one you like.
Yeah.
This one is called True Love Has a Cost. And this one is about the sacrifices that we often have to make when we truly love someone or something. Yeah. This is called True Love Has a Cost.
Okay.
Brought me daisies in the rain. The tattoo artist wrote our names. $100 and some change. True love has a cost. Pray to God it all goes well, 'cause love is war and fear is hell. You lose a little of yourself. True love has a cost. Ring the bells, raise the glass, 2 coins in a fountain. Find a way to make it last. There's one thing you can count on. True love has a cost. You're just strangers when you fall to share the rooms behind the walls. Every year's a wrecking ball. True love has a cost. Ring the bells, raise the glass, 2 coins in a fountain. Find a way to make it last. There's one thing you can count on. True love has a cost. Ring the bells, raise the glass. Find a way to make it last. Oh, ring the bells, raise the glass, 2 coins in a fountain. Find a way to make it last. There's one thing you can count on. One thing you can count on. One thing. True love has a cost. True love, true love, true love.
Got to be a story behind that one. Does it have a cost?
I think it does.
Does? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about the writing of that song.
Okay, well, I mean, my husband's going to be mad because he's going to say, you talked about me too much. But this one is, I know, oh dear, but it's actually his song idea. So
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is, over the course of our marriage, gotten pretty, I don't know, he's like very, very adamant about these like song ideas. They just come out and he writes them down. He's got a notebook now and everything.
Oh, so he's the songwriter at heart then. Huh?
At heart, he is.
Yeah.
He really, it's really interesting because he's like very country. Like he grew up on a farm and he's like from Tennessee. And well, he was born in Florida, but he was raised all his life in Tennessee.
Wow.
And he loves like artists like Nancy Griffith, and I didn't even know who
Nancy Griffith.
Well, I love her now, but I didn't really even know her music or anything. I mean, he turned me on to her. He likes
artist.
Yes, he just likes very. He's very eclectic in his taste. Of course, he loves Judy Pastor, so, which is great. But he just had a song idea, True Love Has a Cost. At the time, I was listening to Brandi Carlile had come out with like The Joker.
Love that song. Love her too.
Yeah. And I was listening to that a lot. And I don't know, I wanted to get the minor chords in there. And I wrote the melody and had some lyric ideas and went to my co-writer and we wrote the song.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And the use of the minor chords in there are very effective too.
Thank you.
Noticed that right away.
Yeah.
So.
That song is the one where I started working with Sean Byrne, and then he produced True Love Has a Cost and The Ride.
The Ride?
Yeah, so if you listen to my music, then you'll hear a little bit of a difference in the production if you're into all that. Yeah.
I hope you will go to the Judy Pastor YouTube page and also Spotify or wherever you get your music. Look for Judy Pastor, Paster, right. Not O-R.
Correct.
She's got wonderful music out there. She is the Josie Award winning Americana Folk Artist of the Year. Yeah. That is so awesome. Americana Folk is one of my favorite genres. So
Thank you.
I am just so proud to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
And to have talked about that a little bit. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. And I want to wish you all a happy New Year, because I know this is the last one we published before New Year. Happy 2022 already. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
I can't believe we're talking about that. And I look forward to joining you next week on the show Songwriter Connection Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection Podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.